1 second.
Yep.
Why am I strangely?
Yeah. I don't know. Mm. Oh, yeah. Toothpaste and coffee is a really good combination. Huh.
You're in your 50s or something like that. It only took you how many years to figure that one out?
It's not a mistake I usually make. Anna Hoffman. Huh. So I just looked at this woman's account because she just interviewed Mark Rozinovich.
Mm-hmm.
And actually she works at Microsoft. And the top tweet on her stream or whatever at the top is her with that Clippy costume.
A lot of legends have worn that thing, Paul. A lot of legends.
Yeah. They still have that weird kind of Alcantara smell to prove it.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Just maybe keep the toothbrushing to the end and beginning of the day.
You know, why is my lighting changed? Like, you touch nothing.
I know. Well, that, by the way, that's welcome to your career in technology, Brad. That's what it's like. That's why when my mother years ago was like, I feel like I should know how to learn a computer. I was like, you know what? Just save yourself from that heartache. You're fine.
All right, you ready?
Sure.
Wish I was better at video games.
What brought that on?
I mean, this. Oops, that's you. This.
Yep.
So Microsoft
What am I looking at?
signed Shroud to Mixer exclusivity yesterday.
Oh, I see.
And
the problem isn't that you lost a couple of games of Call of Duty or whatever you're playing. It's that someone else is making millions of dollars just playing games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I struggle with that.
Yeah. I mean, not that this career choice is a bad one, but
well, look, as I joked with Donna Sarkar yesterday, and I said mine, but I will say our career chose us.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's not like, I think I'm going to do this. This is a great way to make money. It's just, you do what you do, and here we are.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy sitting 7 feet from my furnace.
Right. Yep.
I don't remember that option on career day, but
starring in your own Al Qaeda video.
Yeah. But it is a nice furnace. I've paid a lot of money for it. So
you should decorate. Have your daughter put some stickers on it.
No, that'd like curse it, I'm sure.
I'll suggest it to her next time I see her.
I appreciate that. I'm going to come down there. There's going to be My Little Pony and unicorns on this
exactly
on this furnace. It's every sticker decreases is like 1% efficiency less in heating.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess I don't know. The nice thing is my furnace and my water heater match.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I went from a like a light beige-ish color
Mm-hmm.
metal casing to what I would refer to now maybe a space gray
Mm-hmm.
furnace.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, at
Nice.
least I guess at least it's a different color. So at least it.
So you don't have a furnace that dates back to World War II like the thing in my basement.
Yes, although my house does nearly
Right.
almost,
Right.
but I guess my house is like a victory celebration from World War II.
Yeah. Your house is very probably part of that whole post-war prosperity
Oh,
boom.
it
You know.
definitely it's the suburbanite
Yep.
of America is this house, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
and I enjoy taking it apart piece by piece, and I appreciate
Yeah.
they use 16 penny nails on everything.
That's amazing, really.
It kind of is, which makes you feel good that the house isn't going anywhere until
Yeah.
you got to remove like the smallest board, and it's like
Yeah.
really 4 penny nails in there.
Until you want part of it to go somewhere and it won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, anyways, Microsoft making a big move. Shroud and Ninja now. Obviously, the thing that I don't know, which I would love to know, is
Yeah.
when did they start this contract? Did they start this after they signed Ninja and they were like, oh God, this is actually really working? Or was this like already rolling?
Or it's just part of a strategy. They looked
Yeah.
at the top 20 guys and they campaigned to get all of them, and maybe we're seeing the results of that. Do you? I'm curious. I can't tell if this makes sense. You know, as a strategy, right? I mean, part of me thinks that it might. I mean, you're going to get eyeballs for sure. But it's what do we equate this to? It's like you're a terrible TV network and you buy one of the top rated shows.
Yeah.
Does that change things?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's Mixer was obviously flatlined or whatever, stagnant or doing whatever it wasn't doing.
Sure.
And they said, we got to throw some money at it. What's the easiest way to do that? And they said, let's just go grab these personalities and see if it makes a difference.
By the way, on a semi-related note, I did my write-up of the financials this morning. And I hope you noticed that they once again called out Fortnite. And part of the problem for Xbox this quarter was that a year ago, they actually benefited from the success of Fortnite. So their results were artificially high. Not that they were great, but they were, less terrible than they would have been.
Yeah.
So by comparison, this year, their results are more terrible because Fortnite is no longer providing that, boom that they got a year ago. They never say the word Fortnite. They refer to it as a single title or a piece of intellectual. I forget how they word it, but it's obviously Fortnite.
Yeah. That's unfortunate for Microsoft, I guess, but they've got this now, and maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe they're going for like that sort of halo effect of Mixer.
By the way, these stories might be more related than I thought. It's possible that someone at Microsoft was like, guys, this thing that we had nothing to do with benefited our bottom line in a serious way.
Yeah.
What could we do
to nurture it? Yeah.
And part of what they could do is getting the top streamers on their service. It's an idea. I mean, what do you think about it? Do you think this makes sense?
I think it does.
Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way. I think it's right. If they're doing a last ditch effort to really try to get this service off the ground, I think this is the right approach because clearly their original content programming that they were trying for the past year or so wasn't working. Didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Didn't move the needle at all. And now they've signed up. The thing we don't know is for how long. The two larger, well, at least the largest, and I don't know how large Shroud was. He was up in the top 5 for sure.
Like, what does it take? In other words, you have, this guy has his earnings of incredible proportions, obviously. He has X number of millions, probably, of viewers or whatever it is. Now you're leaving, right? So obviously Microsoft is going to have to make it worth his while he tries to build up that base again. I guess the real proof here is what happens. Like you said, we don't know what the time frame is. So let's pretend it's a year. A year goes by. And now does he just leave again? Yeah. Or are the costs of leaving so big that actually it makes sense for him to stay, or that he's grown his audience to such a degree, maybe, it works out for him financially to just be there.
Yeah. I don't know. The guy's kind of a freak of nature when it comes to like first person shooters. Well, Ninja is, I guess you would call, he's a good gamer, but he's a personality. Shroud is just like
a gamer,
the Usain Bolt of
Yeah.
first person. Like the dude just walks into rooms and just clears it. Like it's ridiculous.
Right.
So
Right.
he started with CS:GO. I think, in my personal opinion, his fame really grew with PUBG. Like that's where he
Right.
was just dominating, and then
Okay.
he's just kind of been huge ever since. So
Interesting.
yeah, a lot
And
of
is he PC? He must be PC based. These guys
yeah,
are all
they're
PC
all
based.
PC
Yeah.
based. But I think they both may have gotten their start with Halo though. Like both of them, like way like Halo
Sure.
3 or 2 or something like that.
It was the gateway drug for shooters for many people.
Oh, Halo 2 for sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Halo 2, I think, really brought because Halo. I can't even remember if the original Halo had
Right.
Xbox Live. I know Halo 2 did.
No. So Xbox Live didn't exist when Halo came out. So
Yeah.
it was the matchmaking system that the Halo guys created for that game that was the inspiration for what Xbox did for everybody later. You know,
Yeah.
like they built it into the platform.
Yeah.
Halo, the original Halo was probably more of a single player phenomenon, just because of the day and whatever. And Halo, I think the part of the reason for Halo 2's enormous success was the multiplayer stuff. You know,
Yeah, it was kind of like the same reason GoldenEye took off on Nintendo, right?
Nintendo,
The
yeah.
first player was fine, but that it was kind of the first game that you could play multiplayer with and
yeah.
have a lot of fun.
No, Doom experienced this. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the big one that's happened in the past 24 hours. How's your
Oh
roof?
no, it's not, Brad.
Oh, it's not. I'm incorrect.
Modern Warfare is out.
Oh, yes. We all forgot about that.
I've only played a couple matches, so this afternoon I gotta write up Ask Paul, but I'm gonna be playing the game between that. I will say, you know, in the sense that I abhor change, it's different and it looks different, which is fine. It looks in fact, the very first level I played multiplayer was very clear. It was Modern Warfare. Like I really enjoyed that. It was one of those desert or Middle Eastern kind of locales. It's very pale looking on my screen. In fact, I spent a bunch of time trying to screw around with the screen to make it more contrasty. I don't know what that's about. It might just be the display. I don't know. Performance seems great. Graphics are great. For me, I'm like a robot. I mean, I go into no matter what version of Call of Duty, going back to whenever, going back to the first Modern Warfare, certainly, I go in. It's like hardened to kill, not kill. What do I play every single day, Paul? I have no idea. Team deathmatch. So it's like, it's not a lot of HUD. You basically die the first time you get shot. You know, hardcore. Sorry, yeah, and it's not there. So like this version of the game doesn't have that. They have like kind of a no HUD mode, which is okay, but so I'm just playing normal team deathmatch until I figure it out, because like I'm at the point where I can't even configure a gun yet. Like I have to
you gotta
level up. You know, I just get what you give you, but I don't. It looks good. I mean, the last one, Black Ops 4 was solid enough to carry me for the year. That hasn't been the case for a couple of the recent ones, so that's good. You know, but it's different.
Yeah, actually, which is to link it back to Shroud, because I was curious. I wanted to check in to see how many people were actually watching him stream, and what he was streaming was him unable to get into a Call of Duty game. It was fantastic. Like there was like 75,000 people sitting there watching him click reconnect because the servers, as they do with every Call of Duty launch, because they can't figure this out after a decade, that on launch day there's a lot of people who want to connect.
Yeah, I specifically did not. I think I could have started playing at 9 p.m. last night, and I decided that I wasn't going to touch it for that reason. And so I got up this morning. I fully expected to have more to install, even though I had, had preloaded it. But it started right up. It was fine.
I saw that screenshot you posted. It was like 90 gigs or something.
Yeah, that's common though. See, people are all, 100 gigabytes for a game. You know, it's like the latest Halo, the latest Gears of War. These games are. This is how big they are. It's just this, the size. I actually had to clear space in my drive.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many Call of Duty games did you have to nuke to make this one?
Oh, I didn't nuke any of those, Brad. I nuked some other games. I do have several versions of Call of Duty on the hard drive.
I can only imagine how many are,
A lot of them, they're still great. I mean, I don't go and play the old ones all that often. And that's true this year because again, the existing game is good, and in past years that wasn't always the case. But they all still, Black Ops 3 is still great. The World War II one is still great. And And then after that, you get kind of into classic mode. But all the old Modern Warfare games, Black Ops games, even Ghosts, I thought was a great multiplayer game.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. We will see what the sales figures say here, and we got a while actually before that'll materialize.
Well, so I didn't write about this or anything. I saved this to look at it. It's Activision set for another $1 billion hit with Modern Warfare launch. Yeah. So I think they're going to do okay.
Yeah, rounding up maybe.
That's I don't know where they got this number from. It doesn't really say.
I wonder how much it actually cost to make a Call of Duty game.
Oh, it's as much as any big Hollywood movie, I would imagine. It's got serious. Like it's like a movie. I mean,
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of art assets and storyline and
famous actors. I think for doing voiceovers and stuff. I mean,
I'm willing to do that. Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm. Oh, me too. Me too. Yep.
If you need any podcasters on that game,
if you need anyone for like comedic sound effects when you get hit,
I mean, I would do it for an easy $500,000 like that. That would.
I have you'll appreciate this because you're probably the same way. Like I'm bitter enough or I enjoy the pain of others enough, I should say, that when I'm playing a game, like I globally mute everybody because I don't want to listen to people chattering on Xbox Live.
Yep.
But when I kill someone, and especially in the game, obviously, in a very egregious way, what does happen is up in the corner, their name will appear in red with a little microphone icon, and it kind of blinks as they talk, and so the guy's going,
yep.
And so I do, even though I don't get to hear it, I do enjoy that.
Yeah, it's the little things in life, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Speaking of little things, my plumber called me back this morning. Was not expecting that.
Wasn't sure where that was going.
Yeah, actually, that came out of my mouth. I was like, oof, that's whatever. Anyways, so Monday morning, 9 a.m., my bathroom is getting...
it just get happening.
It is for an economy rate. We'll see see what happens once he...
see if you get what you pay for.
Yeah, and we'll see if he opens it up and be like, you know what, $3,500 is probably about right.
So you had started to ask about the roof. The roof is done. It looks fine. It looks good. It's
looks
clean.
Like a roof.
Yeah, we still have the gutters and downspouts, and there's a window that's going to happen over the coming weeks. But my daughter came home and saw it, and Stephanie asked her, what she's like, do you like the roof? And she's like, it looks exactly the same as the other roof. I don't like what's cleaner. I mean,
sorry, when we had we had the roof that we painted the house and had a new garage door put on, and brought my daughter home from school, and she's like, yeah, I don't like it. Like, well, good thing your vote doesn't count.
Yeah, well, sorry, you're gonna have to live with it.
Yeah. So that is that. How's your little recreating Notepad project coming along?
Good.
I read the first post. I haven't read the other ones
yet. It's really good. So I've done more. So when I started this, it's not like I had written the whole application and now I'm describing it. Like I was kind of doing it as I went, although I had done some amount of it. In fact, there's stuff I had done before I started writing that still isn't in the app. So there's more that I've done that isn't, that kind of thing. So it's interesting because I think the last time we talked about this, I had said, some guy had come back and said, hey, there's a better way to do this one thing. And it was better. I researched it and he was right, and I really appreciate that kind of feedback. And I sort of had said in the last one, I meant to say this explicitly up front, and I'm really sorry I didn't, because I know there are programmers out there who are actual programmers, not like me. I'm just a jerk, who know what they're talking about, and they can help if they want to, if they see something like, actually, there's a better way to do this. And I really, with this particular one, if you think about how, I think I mentioned this, Notepad throws up a weird dialogue when you exit. If there's a change, it will say, did you want to save the changes? It's like save, don't save, cancel. Which back in the early days of .NET was not a system dialogue. Actually, what I found out is I can get a dialogue, so I don't have to create that dialogue myself. And so I got a bunch of help from people. So I'll do an update where I, fix more problems basically. Yeah. But I really like that aspect of it. I mean, again, the point of this was not like, I know what I'm talking about. I'm a genius. I'm going to provide you with all my godly information. That's not the point. It's like,
right.
I used to write software, obviously, but I'm not a professional programmer. I'm 20 years removed from this. I have memories of things, and I, whatever, but Visual Basic is not a particularly, sophisticated language in some ways, but I thought that would make it more approachable. So I really appreciate that people are taking the time to say, hey, you could do it this way instead. And when I look at this stuff, it's like, yep, and I think that's really cool. So it's become, and maybe we'll continue, hopefully we'll continue in this vein, more of a back and forth kind of a thing, so we'll see. I mean, I was looking over the questions and asked Paul, and someone was asking me about this, like what happens next and blah, 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 and all this stuff. Like, am I going to put this in the store or something? And it's like, no, I'm not going to put this in the store. It's not that professional, but I mean, I could picture doing like the part of the point of this is the same thing from the programming Windows series. It's like someone had said, well, now that UWP is supposedly dead, like, are they going to do all the built-in apps in Win32? And I'm like, no, that's not how it works, But I would be interested in trying to do something like recreate this app in UWP, right? I'm sure there are tons of UWP text editors, and I'm sure they run the gamut from painfully terrible to actually pretty damn good,
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible. I shouldn't say that, but you don't typically see like UWP apps that look like desktop apps. You know what I mean? Like they're kind of touchy and big buttons and stuff. So I don't know. Like I'm just curious, like, because obviously the APIs have changed over the years, and there are different languages too. So different frameworks, different languages. So I'll do more stuff. I don't know if it'll be Notepad every single time. I think that might get boring, but
the story is going to end with you becoming like UWP faithful and like
yes.
the platform.
It's like, Brad, you wouldn't believe it. Actually, UWP is pretty freaking great.
I've been trashing this thing for 5 years, but it's actually not so bad.
It's fair to say that UWP, by the time even WinForms came out, I was no longer a day-to-day programmer. So WinForms came and went, the first gen of .NET, WPF, which came, Longhorn was Avalon and then became WPF, kind of came and went. Silverlight came and went. UWP, the first, Windows 8 store app, whatever that was called, Metro, whatever, kind of came and evolved into UWP, and now we have PWAs and blah, 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 whatever. So I wasn't around for any of that stuff. I mean, I was around to cover it from the outside, and I played with it a little bit, but my opinions about the quality of the API can only be based on what I see from the applications that are made with it. So the things I've said about UWP, which I think you would agree, is when you see an application made with UWP, they just don't look as
you can tell, like, you know what it looks like. Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I don't mean that Fisher Price is a little mean. I don't mean it like that, because they're for some good reason. If you have a touch computer, you might want to use them that way. But you don't see like Microsoft Office in UWP, at least anymore. I guess I don't know. So I'll let you know, as we go. But I think I reached the point when I had done some of the stuff that I just written about, and I'd done some other stuff as well, like the save stuff. I was like, I'm going to be able to finish this. Like it may not be 100% Notepad, I don't think I'm going to, some of the stuff's probably just built into the system. I was going to say, I'm not going to worry about different kinds of text encoding and blah, 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 whatever, all this, there's probably some technical stuff I may not do, but I think it's going to be pretty damn close.
Well, good. I enjoy the fact that you're spending hundreds of hours to recreate something we already have. It's very notable.
Actually, okay. So on that note, I should say I'm going to write about this a little bit in Ask Paul, because someone did ask about this. But I have spent a lot of time over the past several years toying with this stuff, right? Yep. So I do that, and in the course of writing that other series, the Programming Windows series, I was writing a lot of code, and it didn't always appear in the articles. Like I was just doing other stuff. Like I took my old WinInfo database and published it using different APIs, different kinds of applications, several times. And like those things will probably never see the light of day. There's no reason to show them to anybody. But I just wanted to understand how the database access technology that Microsoft had evolved over the years, or how it was different if you did it in a Visual Basic app versus a web thing, and blah, 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 on and on and on. So I was like, well, I don't know, maybe I could do something a little more substantial. I feel like Notepad was a good choice because it seems basic, like really basic. But when you actually go to implement all the things that are in there, it's just actually, there's some complexity there. And it's a simple app, So
there we go. All right. Well, your roof's done. Hopefully my plumbing will be done soon. What else is going on at the Throt household this weekend?
That's about it. I mean, Halloween's next week. So one of the things, I don't know if you have this stuff in your area, but one of the things that's really big in the Philadelphia, let's say Eastern Pennsylvania area at least, is they have like these haunted house kind of experience things. They're they're huge here. Yeah. So They have one that's like at an old prison. They have one that's at like a place that looks like the Bates, hotel from Psycho. They have the corn maze stuff and the rooms that like people reach out and grab. Oh, anyway, so we've been here. This will be our third Halloween, and we have never gone to one of these things. So we're going to try sometime. Maybe this weekend, although this weekend's probably going to be really busy. But I'd like to do that, though. I think that'd be kind of fun, like a real life scare kind of experience.
Yeah, for me, that's just looking at the mortgage.
Yeah,
Why?
right.
Why?
Right.
In the Cincinnati area, there's Kings Island, which does a huge thing. The other one is they literally bring like a barge in. They call it USS Nightmare, and then there's a bunch of other like smaller ones. If you
yeah, it's like yeah. So I guess it's a thing. I mean, so I had just never. I mean, we might have had one or two in Boston. I never went to any of them, but I hear they're huge. Like there's little advertisements everywhere. If you go to Dunkin' Donuts or whatever restaurant, there'll be like brochures for these things everywhere.
Sure. Well, we'll let us know how that works out for you.
Or I'll have a heart attack and you'll be doing this solo. So
yeah, I'm not going to finish your app though.
Yes, right, Brad. I need you to finish the app. This is really important.
Yeah, just put that over.
Because the world has to have another Notepad.
It really does. We don't have.
I should just call it Notepad 2.
Very creative title.
I don't know.
But it needs to be Notepad/2. So it's.
Yeah, like an OS2 thing.
Yeah, exactly. So
I like it.
Fantastic. Well, I think that about wraps it up for this. Everybody else, well, next week's going to be Monday. Will be interesting because the plumber's going crazy down here. We'll see what happens, provided he shows up. I'm thinking he is showing up, but we'll find out on Monday. Next week should be normal, and then we have Ignite, which that's going to totally screw up our schedule. And everybody else, have a lovely weekend, and we'll catch all of you right back here next time.
I mean, there will be a lot of video coming out of Ignite one way or the other, at least.
Oh, yeah, there's a ton of it. We got to do our behind-the-scenes video. That'll be...
Yeah. All right.
We're
even going to have time to...
I don't think we have to plan anything because we've got Wednesday morning already booked.
I know.
That.
Okay.
That little endeavor.
Right.
Although, I really want to go to... I can blame Tina for this because she scheduled that thing Wednesday morning. I really wanted to go to like Kennedy Space Center. It's only like a 45-minute drive or something. That would have been...
Honestly, I think this thing she's doing is dumb. I just think it's dumb, but whatever. But on the other hand, it does seem like a lot of people are interested in it,
coming to this, so.
Which tells me like we don't have to be there. Like this thing. No, I mean, and I don't mean that in a selfish way. I mean, honestly, it's more interesting in some ways, I think, because these other guys, fucking Call of Duty. I played this game this morning. I have to install an update.
There you go.
2 gigabytes.
There you go. All right. Later.
Bye.